Welcome back to Business Energetics. Today's going to be a solo episode, and this is going to be the episode for you if you're like, Claudia, the holidays are literally around the corner. I'm not ready. I don't have any sales pages up. I'm freaking out. I'm exhausted. I don't even know what to post, what to do, what kind of deals to make. For the next few minutes together, either sit down with me or just keep me in your ear if you're listening through the audio version only. But this is an episode you're going to want to come back to this week and in the upcoming weeks to make sure that you end your business year on a high note. So today, I have tons of notes in my phone, in my notebooks. I'm going to share with you automations you can put. I'm going to share with you important dates that you need to have in your calendar. I'm going to share with you simple setups that you can make right now in your different apps, and you can either delegate these tasks to someone who will do it for you, or you can do it yourself if you are all the hats in your business. So stay tuned. This will be a very valuable episode that you can come back to every single year. And maybe next year we can get started a little bit earlier so we don't have to rush through these. So if this is something interesting for you, keep on watching. Unfortunately, I have some people in my family right now that are going through some hard health issues. I don't want to be crying right now, but so for me, it's going to be important now more than ever to be spending time with those people. This is why I'm making this video. I don't want you to miss out on the people that you care the most for. And this is why we put automations and things like that. What we're going to do first is we're going to make sure that the important dates, if you're targeting North America and Canada and maybe even Australia and UK, these dates are mandatory to be in your calendar if you're targeting these markets, because these are holidays and important days that you need to know about for the upcoming years. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to map out the most important days that need to be in your calendar for this year or for next year. Starting with Black Friday. Black Friday always happens the last Friday of November. Now, if you're watching this in 2025, it is at the end of the week. And if you're watching in 2025, also businesses decided to start to market this right after Halloween. So take note for next year, because it seems like before there was some regulations where you could only put Christmas music in stores starting December 1st. So it's not too late for you to put out your deal this week. People are still on the lookout because from what I'm seeing, it ranges between 30 to 40% max off on everything. Now, after Black Friday, we have a new thing that just appeared in the last few years called Small Business Saturday. This is the first Saturday following the Black Friday. And this is good for you if you're on Etsy, if you own a Shopify, like a small e-commerce brand, if you're not a multinational business. And you'll be able to leverage that day and do some specific deals for people buying from your small business. The next date that is going to be important is sometimes people will do deals on the eve. So they'll put like a time limit, like until 12 on the 24th of December, you get some deals. Or some people just skip that day and they skip the 25th because people are going to be focused on their family. And it's mostly like grocery stores and things like that that are going to come out with deals, or if you're a florist. Now, after that, we have December 26th, which is the official day for Boxing Day. After that, and this is supposed to be like the most deals. You have Black Friday that it's a good deal, and then you have Boxing Day that's supposed to be one of the most best deals you can ever think of. I was watching the YouTubers years ago. I'm talking about 2015. I was dreaming as a Canadian of going to the United States to just participate to one of those Black Friday where people would fight over TVs, and there was some crazy deals. I remember, for example, Victoria's Secret used to have a deal where you would stay in line and the mall was open all night after Christmas. I remember this very vividly. And people would stand in line, and then the first 100 shoppers would get like a specific PJ or a blanket, Victoria's Secret with slippers, and people would go nuts. They would stand in line for hours just to make sure that they got these amazing deals. So I used to binge watch these videos and wish that it would happen to Canada. And unfortunately, it doesn't even happen in the States anymore. So hopefully one day we'll get those deals that are, worth standing up all night for. The next thing that you need to know, the next one is going to be on the Monday following the Boxing Day. It's called Cyber Monday. So if you have an e-commerce, if you have a business where you actually sell online, even if you have a physical retail location, these are going to be deals that are exclusively available online. So you can make sure that everything is free shipping. That's the number one thing I would say all brands are going to do. The other thing you can do is make sure that you have bundles together. If you are in your Shopify platform, you can create bundles in the platform to make sure that if people spend a certain amount of money, they get like a certain percentage off, or they get a gift with purchase or something like that. The next thing we're going to tackle is going to be automations. Up until now, maybe you haven't learned anything new, or maybe it's just a reminder to put these dates in your calendar for next year. But now I want to tackle something a little bit different. And once again, I want to reiterate the fact that you still have time. Okay, so let's take a deep breath together and just make sure that you do whatever you can where you are with what you have. This is what I remind myself every time I feel like I should be doing more, I should be more, I should have more. Come back to the present moment, ground yourself, and realize that you still have time. And if you don't believe me, I'll share with you a little bit of a story before we jump into automations. And that is me last year. I thought time is running out, and I launched my social media certification. I believe it was at the end of November, and then it was going to be starting in January. So I had like a few weeks of launch before we got started in the new year. And when I launched the social media certification idea, all I had was a landing page and a head full of knowledge. I mean, I did have all the qualifications to be able to sell that certification, as I was certified myself, as I had studied it in university for 3 years, and as I also had clients in my agency. So I knew how to acquire a client, how to serve them, and how to onboard them. So this is exactly what I taught people: is how do you grow somebody's social media, whether it's your own or it's a client's. And I even gave them opportunities to launch it as a business afterwards. So with that in mind, I didn't have a lot of time. I had under 10,000 followers on TikTok, and I had under 1,500 people on my Instagram. And the only places I marketed to was my Instagram, my personal Facebook, and TikTok. And with that, I was able to bring in, I believe in revenue, it was like 20 or 25K gross just from the people that came in and did the certification. So that is not net, but just to give you an idea, you can always launch something in the last few weeks of the year. We all are in the mindset of spirit, of growing, of buying, of giving. So it's a perfect time to do so. So if we jump into automations now, the number one thing you want to make sure, if you have an e-commerce, I will give you a few automations that you can add. You want to make sure that you have an abandoned cart sequence. What does that mean? So, when you go on somebody's cart on Shopify or any e-commerce website and you leave, you can program an automated email that goes directly into their inbox. That is somebody who would have entered their name, maybe phone number, email, and then they abandon the cart. So it sends them an email, and in that email you can give them an extra like 5 or 10% off if they come back and they clear their cart. Some people also have text messages going on for that. You can also create a post purchase email flow. So that is a thank you email. Thank you for purchasing XYZ, whether it's your course or anything. And then you can also have another sequence leading into an upsell into another course or an add on or something else. Inventory alerts. Make sure if you have physical products that you set a low stock notification, because you don't want to be running out of stock and not knowing about it. So you sell the stock that you don't have while you're in the middle of a launch and end of year push. That is really, really bad. The other thing we're going to tackle is an FAQ autoresponder. If you're running everywhere, you may not have time to answer everybody's repeated questions. So if you go into ChatGPT right now and you ask ChatGPT to create 10 different questions based on your specific website, just drop the link directly in there. What are the main 10 questions that people would have with my business? What you're going to do is you're going to take these questions and create answers for them, and you're going to put them somewhere on your website, or you're going to put them somewhere on a pinned post or in a story post, one of the bubbles on IG stories. So you're going to be putting that somewhere where people, you can quickly refer them to that file, to that page, to that link. The other thing you can do as well, and that's something that I'm going to tackle in my next YouTube video, is you're going to set up an automated chatbot using AI. And don't get freaked out, there is no code in that, but that chatbot, what it's going to do is going to be primed with your business information. You're going to train them with that, and then every time somebody asks something, it will go back and forth using ChatGPT in the background, and it will come up with smart AI answers that make sense. And if there's a bug, or if the person gets like frustrated and want to talk to a human being, it will refer back to you. These are the main things you want to have set up in your business as automations. Now that you have all of these little tools set up to save you time and energy, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you another way of working your business. If you're not doing it, I'm going to invite you to use ChatGPT for your product descriptions or your sales page. I do show you in my last YouTube video how to customize your ChatGPT and how to create a personalized GPT. So you basically train it to think the way that you would think, and with the informations of your business or the informations about like sales processes. And then whatever question you ask, it's going to give you the best plausible answer based on exactly how you like to receive your answers. So a great example for that would be if you upload the description sheets of products that you already have in your website, or if you upload sales pages that you have for other courses, masterminds, or things you're selling. You tell it like, keep the essence, keep the tonality, keep the vibe, and then I want you to create another sale page, but it's going to be for XYZ product, or it's going to be for XYZ course, mastermind, or thing that you're selling. So it's going to answer you exactly the way that you want it, and it's going to be seamless with the content that you already have. After you finish this video, go back to my previous YouTube video and you'll be able to figure out how to do it. It literally takes 5 minutes. It's really not complicated, and it's going to save you tons of time. When it comes to your new offers, you're also going to have to sell them. So what I like to do is I want to create content that is curated to something that I'm going to sell. And I'm going to give you an example for that. So right now you're watching or you're listening to this podcast, and this podcast is all about systems you can use and automations you can put into your business to be more efficient, to be more productive, and to be ready for sales. And that is exactly what I'm going to be teaching in my upcoming mastermind that we're going to be starting in January, called Systems Queen. And it's going to be a mastermind for 12 weeks where all of the women business leaders, consultants, managers are going to be in a group where we have a CEO glow up, meaning we have a glow up in our business, in our brain, so personal development and growth, and in our bodies, because I'm also going to put a component of how to stay active and how to do specific exercises to make sure you feel good in your body as a feminine business leader. So, because of that, today I'm teaching you about automations you can put in your business to help you in sales. But that's something that we're going to go in depth and in a personal matter in Systems Queen. So, you see how I'm creating content, but it's also serving a dual purpose where it's going to link to a bigger offer that I'm going to be sharing about in the next upcoming weeks. So you want to be intentional with the content you create. And with that in mind, leverage Canva AI. I believe it is only available if you have the full Canva subscription, but even if you pay for the subscription for 1 month, it's gonna be worth it. So Canva AI lets you bulk create some reels or some quotes or some graphics using the power of bulk creation. If you want to know more about this, I can make a video about that and how to use it. But I do believe there's a lot of videos out there on how to content batch using AI. And what's going to be important is that you cater it to Black Friday or Cyber Monday or just your business overall brand, especially if you've uploaded your brand colors and fonts and overall branding materials inside Canva. It's going to be even easier for you. Now, we're going to touch another topic, which is efficiency hacks. So, how do we save even more time and energy during this high sales season? I'm going to give you a few tricks on top of that. If you don't have time to batch content create, you're like, I don't even have time to sit down and film all these videos. If you look at my past YouTube video, the one right before here, where I talk about AI automations, I share with you my viral content studio. If you go on ChatGPT right now in the GPT section and you look for viral content studio by alchemymedia.com, you will be able to use my personal ChatGPT, which all you have to do is tell them about your business. It will ask you questions back and forth. And then what you do is you say, hey, I'm having a sale for Black Friday, or I'm having a sale for Cyber Monday, and I need you to create me 5 or 10 different posts that are going to be different from one another and not too salesy. Like, you can give it a tonality. And I want you to create these ideas for me that I'm going to be able to reuse into Canva. So you can just use my content viral studio by alchemymedia.com and it'll come up because I already primed it with viral hooks and sales processes. I'm not making any money off of that. It's just like a nice tool I created inside my last video that I feel like could be useful for you guys. The other thing you can do is, let's say you don't even have time to sit down and create those videos. What you're going to do is you're going to go live. And if you go live on TikTok, which is the number one like best way to do this, because you can do it inside the app, when you go live on TikTok, at the end you're going to be able to clip moments from your live video. And so you can just reuse these videos. If you post them on TikTok, you can just download them, or you can use repurpose.io, which is going to take your TikTok videos and repurpose into shorts, repurpose into reels, repurpose into Pinterest pins. I will drop all of the links in the description of the podcast. The other way you can do it is, this is a fun idea, repurpose your emails as captions. So if you already have emails that you're using in your business, you can literally just reuse those, like copy, paste into ChatGPT and say, create me 5 different captions for the upcoming sale using the core message of this email. And that will become your caption for your next post. Also, a little hack that you can do on TikTok: go on your personal TikTok and you comment on any video, can I get more information about the sale? or can I get more information about Black Friday sale? Can I get more information about Cyber Monday? Can I get more information about Boxing Day sale? Whatever, just write that down, comment on one of your video. And what you're going to do is when you go to create a new video, you're not going to create a video from scratch. You're going to click on that comment and you're going to pin it into each one of the videos for the Black Friday, for the Cyber Monday, for the Boxing Day. So that's just one way you can have people asking for the sale, and it's a fun way. And then you can reuse that video by downloading it and just posting it on Reels, and people will not know where it comes from. So it's perfect. Another way to create content is using customer testimonials. People love a good success story. So I'll give you an example. One of the most exciting stories that I share about our social media certification, where I show you how to build content and go viral and just leverage that and build your business with it, either to become a social media manager or to use it in your personal business, is the story of my girl, Sonia. She is an amazing woman and she wanted to start leveraging social media, but she didn't really have anything to sell. She didn't know how she was going to use it. And so what she did is she started to take videos of her dog. And her dog is very funny because he just goes in the water and swims all day. And for some reason, after using my content strategy, she went viral because that is our secret sauce. That is our secret formula that I teach you. And what she didn't expect was for her dog to become an influencer. And this is exactly what happened. The dog went viral, 11.8 million views. She was able to repurpose the story on different news outlets, and she also sold the rights to the video to a bigger outlet that was able to leverage her views, and her dog became an influencer. So that is just like a fun, quirky story that we have in the certification. We have many stories of people going viral, like literally overnight with new accounts and leveraging that and building a platform and building a business. But using testimonials in your personal business gets people excited to want to learn more. It feels them also hopeful that maybe they will be your next success story if they work with you. So this is what I say, use testimonials. And if you don't have your own testimonials yet, you can use other people's stories. So let's say you did our certification and you want to become a social media manager. You can say, hey, I'm inside this certification and here's what people are experiencing in terms of success. So you can leverage our success stories to talk about you got the same training, and so you could be doing that for people's business potentially. So this is something you can do, is you can leverage other people's stories if you're part of a program, a mastermind, if you have a specific training, if you have colleagues in the industry, you can leverage case studies from the industry, or you can leverage stats from, for example, Forbes, Inc. magazine, and other platforms like that that have a reputation amongst peers. Now that we've learned how to make sure that we have specific dates set up in your calendar, that we have automated responses, automated emails going out, we got to make sure that you also have your content pre-scheduled, because none of the days that are coming up are going to be the same. So yes, we have our prerequisites that we have to get done every single day, but we also have amazing things that are happening along the day that makes the day special. And so with that in mind, it's going to become a little bit more chaotic and less routine like the further and closer we get towards Christmas and the end of the year. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that your non-negotiables, meaning you going and getting new customers, your sales going out, your messages that are getting answered in your DMs, things like that are already taken care of. We want to make sure that you have that flexibility in your mind, in your body, in your soul, so that you can also enjoy the holidays. The last thing that I would say is if you have specific sales and you want to leverage the keyword that is, for example, you have a post and you say, DM me systems to get my cheat sheet. So, for example, I'm going to use this one, which I have a 5 no code AI automations cheat sheet that I actually shared in my previous video, which is still active and ongoing. So what's going to happen is I'm now going to create inside ManyChat an automation where when people are DMing me this word or are writing them in the comment section, it will trigger an automation where they will get a DM from my account and they'll be able to receive the link to get the freebie. So if you haven't set up your keywords yet, you want to set aside some time to set them up inside ManyChat. Now in the next video, I will show you exactly how to do that, and I will also show you how to set up your own chatbot to answer the FAQs. So stay tuned because that's going to be up in the next few days. You want to make sure that you have these keywords set up properly and working. And also, I'll give you an example. After you receive my freebie, you will also get like a 3 email sequence following up with you to make sure that you have implemented certain automations to make sure your business is running fully and smoothly. So you want to make sure you have something similar where if you are sending people an information, they also get into an email sequence or a text message sequence or some kind of follow-up where you not only give people stuff for free that you have spent a lot of time and energy creating and even sometimes money invested in hiring people to create that for you, but you want to make sure also that they stay in your funnels and they're taken care of when they enter your space and your world. I hope this was super valuable for you guys. Happy holidays. Make sure to take some time to actually enjoy, control the controllables, and the rest that is out of routine, the invitations and all the things. This will help your business grow because your business should be running even if you're not in front of your computer. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and make sure to drop in the comments what you have enjoyed the most, which tip you're going to implement. This is going to be your action step, and it's going to also help me knowing that you find this video valuable by you sharing one tip you're going to implement in the comment section. Or if you're listening to this podcast by audio, I want you to DM me on IG to tell me which tip you're going to implement. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to tackle how to use ManyChat and the keywords automations and how to build your own personal chatbot.